A Passing Shadow by Lynette Stary of Bowral 2576. There was great excitement amongst the Mayflower Botanical Society stalwarts. More than a year's planning was about to culminate in great celebrations for the sesquicentennial anniversary of the establishment of the town's pride and joy, our Botanic Gardens. From the humble beginnings of a bare paddock to a magnificent 21st century array of floral colour, imposing trees that stretched high into the sky as far as the eye could see, shrubbery of all shapes and sizes with leaves big and small, reaching out for any light the sun would gift them, in shades of green that no palette could ever replicate. Indeed, this was our Botanic Gardens, and the whole town was bursting with pride. A special day was planned to publicly recognise the efforts of the local community. But being the 21st century, there were also important considerations of branding and profile that would be freely bankrolled by a large PR and media contingent from around the country. The usual dignitaries representing government would be there, patting themselves on their collective backs and thanking patrons and sponsors. Then there would be acclaimed horticulturists representing higher learning and celebrity presenters representing all that is beautiful in a garden. But the guest of honour was to be Elise Fleur, Mayflower local, who, for each of her 80 years, had been a continuous card-holding member of our Botanic Gardens. The committee approached Elise to say a few words of welcome and then plant a very special tree for future generations to come. It was widely accepted amongst the community that her botanical knowledge and appreciation was far beyond anyone who lived in the town, even though she had nothing to formally say so. No one was better qualified to present our Botanic Garden and its inhabitants to the country. The committee was confident that Elise would do them and the gardens she loved proud. So her only limitation was time, because, as much loved as she was, no one much liked to listen words that droned on endlessly. Now, Elise was quite taken aback that she would be invited to be a guest of honour. An aunt, now dead, of whom she had no memory, had signed her up at birth to the gardens for the term of her natural life. Without doubt, that sentence was a wondrous gift that gave her years of genuine pleasure and an appreciation of the senses and the unspoken. In her time, she had been wandering the paths of this garden for more than half its existence. A garden that, in many ways, replicated the ebbs and flows of the human condition, but just on a much slower time frame. The gardens were an innate part of her, but they certainly didn't define who she was. In reality, she was now an old woman. When she passed people in the street, to many she was a shadow, a waft of presence that passed and was barely noticed. The day arrived. Perfect weather, handshaking and hugs, beaming faces, lights, cameras, action. Elise rose to a rousing applause. She used the gardens to inspire her outfit and was a mass of colour that so accentuated her short grey hair. Her walking stick was entwined with honeysuckle and soft baby's breath. She felt anticipation from the committee and bored interest from those who had come along to join in the celebrations. And so she began. Other presenters before me have already spoken of gardens and the benefits they bestow upon community and on each generation, and the importance of preservation. When I wander our Botanic Gardens, I adore these amazing, diverse plants that live in a confined habitat. But I have an admission to make to you all here today. I only come to the gardens to spy on the human visitors, not the botanical inmates. You see, to me, the gardens represent so many things. Celebration, beauty, love, happiness, sadness, history, colour, strength. These qualities I see every day in the people that walk through our historic gates, wonder at the timelessness and enormity of the garden, then throw a rug on thick, lush grass and simply picnic with family and friends. I see parents, children, lovers, enemies, joggers and walkers, tourists, refugees, homeless, rich and poor, able and disabled. A mini, cosmopolitan, itinerant society enclosed within the boundaries of our botanic garden. I see people sharing an environment where there are no physical or emotional walls. They are here to see and feel peace and beauty, and in doing so, become part of that peace and beauty. I see people dressed in brilliant colours of their past. I smell sweet past homelands, and I hear melodic words I do not understand. I feel harmony amidst the differences we all have. It saddens me that the colours fade, the smells become acrid, and that the words jar when we step back outside the gates of our botanic gardens. Elise could have spoken another 5 minutes, but her time was up, and she sensed the committee members' beaming smiles had been clouded, ever so slightly, with frowns. She was not sure how her talk was received, but following her address, she was pursued by all those PR and media types who had been there for the big day. One thing she was sure of was that even if she was around for the 160th celebration, she would not be asked to speak. And as far as the media was concerned, she found it best to hide in plain sight as a passing shadow in our botanic gardens. The end.